What is going on, UTG? I am Ads, and welcome to Monday afternoon. Monday evening. Let's say Monday evening. It's about 7 o'clock Melbourne time. How are we all doing? We are on a public holiday today here on a Monday, but business as usual here at UTG. Although it's a little bit quieter in the Discord, I do admit, but we are back at it in terms of our updates. But before we start, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button as well. Tick the little bell to stay updated on all of our new content coming out soon. Of course, we do have some more bits and pieces coming with Gravy Train this week. Happy to have everyone on the Gravy Train hype. It has been a fantastic response and a lot of charts being thrown around the Discord with Gravy Train applied. So very happy to see, of course. Now, let's get into business. Let's leave Gravy Train on there. BTC, where are we at? Where are we going? Where have we been with BTC? So today in the Discord, I said 53 might be a possibility, and it still could be. It still definitely could be. We have been teetering around the 23.6 Fibonacci level. We have been, since I posted that, rejected, on the previous liquidity that we find at 51K. And there is a very short-term level in the way of supply sitting at that point as well. So very short-term, and we have pretty much basically, we have broken through it now. So I'll get rid of that anyway, because it's not that relevant. That's why I didn't have it up there. But in any case, we do have liquidity to the left that we have to move through. So currently, there's two things that could happen with BTC. There's always two things that could happen. We go up or down, but let's describe what we think. Okay, so if I draw a horizontal line on the 38 to give us a better indication on which direction we could possibly go. So you could see just to the left of this 38.2, we have a fair amount of liquidity there at that 48.966 mark for BTC. Of course, if we do hold the 38.2 and then continue to the upside to our 53, that could be one possibility that I'm seeing for BTC. It's something that could happen and more than likely will, to be honest with you, because we do have a fair amount of liquidity holding BTC up to 38.2. It's going to take a little bit more selling pressure than we're seeing currently to push us down and, of course, retest the 47K mark. Currently speaking, though, I've taken positions on the 47K mark. Of course, I've taken positions on the 44 alongside Ethereum, ADA, and everything like that. So I'm looking for a bounce here at the 38.2 to really push us back up to our 53K level of supply, which we see here. It is short-term as well. It is low-quality, short-term level of supply that we see corresponding very nicely there with the Gravy Train cloud, and of course our highest level, our highest quality supply sitting at around 57K now. It remains to be seen if we're going to get there again. I have no doubts in my mind that we'll probably see 57K again in the medium to long term span of things, I guess you could say it that for BTC. But for the short term, for the next week or so, I'm looking towards that 53K mark for our interim, for our medium-term holdings in terms of from the 44K swing up to about the 53, 54K. So a $10,000 swing. Look, it could be the fact that we ping-pong in between these levels for quite some time. I know I've said that multiple times in the past. It has come to fruition in sometimes it has not. But in any case, we are seeing a Gravy Train cloud there on the 4-hour time frame. So that is an area of indecision, or it's an area of reversal. So it's got a little bit of a way to go. We need to get to that 56K mark, or it will come down a little bit further in the interim in the next couple of days to really test that top of the cloud. So we'll see what happens over the next little bit. If you had my pick, I'd be looking at the 38 in the short term, and of course possibly the 53. But we won't get too ahead of ourselves currently. Let's see what happens tonight. And of course, the liquidity and the volume will enter tomorrow. Moving on, Ethereum. Ethereum faring a little better in the way of our price action, as well as far as the price action does go. And what I'm talking about in terms of this is we've actually met up with our most relevant level of supply there at 1760, and that's our negative 27 Fibonacci extension on our retracement tool there as well, from swing low to high. Swing low being 1320, of course, down here, and of course our swing high being 1657, of course, drawing from left to right, and we do have a perfect touch off the negative 27 extension, and of course coinciding very nicely with the level of supply, and of course the gravy train cloud just above that. What are we seeing with Ethereum? So this is an argument for the bears, because we have a very relevant level of demand just around that 23.6, 38.2 mark. Of course, if we are to see Ethereum come this far down, we'll probably see BTC come down a little further than what we just spoke about, but it could meet us in the middle at the level of liquidity at 1657 for ETH. So it's really going to come down to what happens tonight. So the next 8 or 12 hours is going to be telling. We can either move sideways and nothing's going to happen, or we could sit on these levels at the 38.2 for BTC, or even the 00 or the 1657 mark for ETH, where we see some liquidity to the left-hand side as well. So that could be an eventuality for Ethereum before moving to the upside, but it is looking more likely, that we'll see something like this. But before we move on, let's nip up our zone and let's see if we can get a better zone happening. So we can go from swing low to swing high. Let's go from this entire move to the upside, this swing move. We've got the 23.6 not far away at 1650, which is a nice level in my opinion. And of course we have the 38.2, the 50, the 61, very close to our levels here. And of course liquidity just to the left down a little bit further. So it's going to be telling, because we do have a swing high or a blow off top, or even a overbought signal on Steamroller. And you know how accurate Steamroller has been in the past for Ethereum, especially on this time frame. So if you had to ask me, it would be the 23.6 or either the 38.2 for ETH in the short term before we see a response. And I think a response might be a test of the level at 1755, but that remains to be seen. Let's find out tonight and talk about this again tomorrow. Next one I'll have a look at is ADA. So let's go change watch lists for now. ADA USDT. So not a whole lot happening for ADA. Of course, we've had our level of demand drawn in and we've breached the cloud as well. So we've got a level of indecision there, of course, for ADA. But we are sitting pretty above this level at the level of demand. So I'm pretty happy with ADA currently. We do have some levels down below to really test if we break down and breach this demand here. But I'm expecting this to probably walk sideways for a little bit longer, give us another retest of this zone to really decide on which way we're going to go. And of course, we're either going to breach or we're going to hold. My guess is on the latter. I think we'll hold this level. We have been sitting above it for quite some time now. But in cases like this, I've always got some liquidity. I've always got some capital sitting around these levels. Of course, the levels being 95 cents and of course that 85 cents down here for some sync bids or some lower DCA buys to really give me a better position in the market for a longer term swing to the upside. So we'll see what happens with ADA, but that's my play currently with ADA. Next one, XRP. I'll change watch lists again. XRP USD not faring as well. We are sitting above that 50 RSI. Currently, we have been rejected once off our gravy train cloud, and that coincides very nicely with the level of supply that I've got just on the top here. Let me clean this chart up a little bit before I continue talking. But for XRP, it's looking like we're going to fare the same or bear the same fate as ETH and BTC, where we'll draw our swing low to high. Let's get rid of the previous one. and we are sitting around that 38.2. However, we've had very stagnant price action. We are whipping up and down pretty violently for XRP on the shorter time frame, being the 4 hour. But if we are to follow the trajectory of BTC and Ethereum, then more than likely we'll end up down here at the 50 and the 61. And I dare say that 50 is looking okay with a very short-term level of demand. Sorry, the 61, with a very short-term level of demand sitting around that level where we've got a very short retest to the right-hand side of where the level was created, down around that 43 cent mark for XRP. Of course, let's end tonight on the DXY. Of course, being a regulated market, not financial advice, just ideas and opinions of Team UTG. Do not forget, Gravy Train has still got the 50% off your first month continuing. So unitytradinggroup.com/Gravy Train. You can find it in the description down below. You can see it on our charts. You can see how accurate it is. Get your 50% off. Give it a go because it won't disappoint. Of course, with the DXY moving on, we've got a level of supply being breached and pushed through currently. But with this level, I'm observing we do have a very overbought level of steamroller. So getting rid of that level currently, getting rid of the last one. We've got some free air to really draw our TA in now. So the levels that I'm looking at, one being a very obvious one here at 91.2, the second being a little bit less obvious, and I'd probably take that level there at the 91.6. If I'm to draw our Fibonacci in, swing low to high, always draw from left to right. We do see the 38.2, which fares very nicely on pullbacks coinciding very nicely, with our level of demand there at 91.6. That's where I would put the DXY. That lines up very nicely with some liquidity to the left-hand side. The previous top, of course, if you draw it further back, we've got a little bit more to look at, and it's looking like that 38.2 is going to be the area that we do retest. We could even be caught on the 23.6, but in excellent Fibonacci fashion that we usually observe here at Unity Trading Group, the 38.2, the 50, and also the 61. The 38.2 coinciding nicely with a level of demand, and of course the 61 lining up even better at 91.22. So that's going to be the levels that I'm looking for, 38 and the 61, and the levels of demand that I've got drawn in for the short-term plays on the DXY. I don't think we'll push relentlessly to the upside just yet. I think we'll have to satisfy our steamroller because it is quite accurate. It has been quite accurate in the past. So I'll give it the benefit of the doubt, and we'll look at 91.59 for our next level for the DXY. I'm Ads from UTG. Don't forget to subscribe if you like what we do here at UTG. You can find all of our links down below. Gravy Train, the link for the Discord, and of course I'll see you all there, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.